Welcome to our channel. We are Caitlin and Patrick, two adventure seekers that recently sold all of our belongings to fulfill our lifelong dream of living sustainably. We purchased 15 acres of raw land in the mountains of East Tennessee. Since moving to our property, we have installed our solar system for all of our power needs and our rainwater catchment system for all of our water needs. Join us as we continue to build out our off-grid homestead in the mountains and navigate this adventure we call life. Hey guys, Happy New Year. It's 2024 somehow. Seems like it was just 2019, so I don't know what's going on. But anyway, today I'm going to be working on a small project, hopefully. I need to check and make sure I have all the correct plumbing parts first. I'm just going to use some leftover stuff we have from the pump house. And hopefully I have everything. I should, but we'll find out pretty soon. So I'm over here at our washer and dryer in our workshop. So right now we've got a 12-volt pump that runs off of a car battery down here. We set this up, I think, sometime last spring, so it's still warm. We didn't really have to worry about anything freezing, but unfortunately the 12-volt pump at some point seems to have frozen a little bit. So what I'm going to do today is actually replace it with a new 12-volt pump, and I'm also going to set up a small heater in this space in order to be able to turn it on. We do like semi-winterize this when we're not using it, but obviously we still wash clothes in the winter, so we can't fully winterize it. So we want to be able to turn on hopefully just the pilot light in here when it's extremely cold and be able to just protect all this. I'm not really worried about the PEX piping. We do have it insulated. I don't know how much that actually helps, to be honest, but PEX can expand, I think, up to 1.5 times its size without busting. So I'm not concerned about that. Mainly concerned about the pump. And we also have a water filter here that's plastic and would be pretty easy to bust. So I'm gonna get that set up. I think I'm gonna actually set up the heater first because it's quite cold in here today. I think we're in the low 30s, so at least I have a little bit better working space. My hands are already pretty cold. I also got this, we kind of already have one of these in the pump house, but I got one for 3 different zones. So what this is, it basically tells you, you have these 3 little monitors you can leave in different areas. And then the screen that tells you the temperature of each one of those areas. So I'll put one in the pump house, one in here, maybe one in the camper just because we have the extra one. And we'll be able to, monitor the temperatures in each one of these spaces when we're in the shed so that we know, if we need to turn on a heater in here or in the pump house or, whatever it may be. So this is just going to give us peace of mind. I'll put a link to all these products in the description in case you're interested in any of them. I haven't used this one yet. We have one similar that's in the pump house right now, so we'll see how it works. But yeah, I'm just gonna be setting this up. We're gonna have this go to a 20-pound propane tank. Those 1 pounds that typically you use on here get quite pricey. We had been refilling them for a little bit last year, and it just got to be too much. When you refill them, they only really fill about halfway, so they don't last very long. So I'm gonna be running a hose outside and connecting it to 20-pound tank. So I've got my connection here. I'll put a link for this as well in the description. But yeah, pretty straightforward. I think I'm going to do things a little bit differently over here, hopefully, if I have the right parts, to be able to try to get as much water out of the pump as possible. Obviously, if we're traveling or anything like that, we can't be here to turn the heater on. So just trying to prevent having to buy more pumps in the future. This is a temporary solution. We needed to be able to wash clothes here. So we set it up in our workshop, but once we have the house, we will be putting this in the house. So, we shouldn't have to worry about this forever, but until that point, this is the setup and it works great. This did have a slight leak. You can kind of see maybe that the silicone did a little bit to try to prevent it from leaking more, but it hasn't really helped. So best to just go ahead and fix it. We don't want to have water damage in the shed or on the washer. And this is all of a rainwater catchment from the shed roof, so any water that we're losing out of here is just water we're not being able to use for washing and other things. So thanks for watching, guys. All right, so I should have checked to see if I had the right, I have the right fittings. The issue is I don't have the little PEX clamps. I thought I had a few extra from the last time we did some things to the pump house, but if I do, I cannot find them anywhere. So yeah, I think what I'm going to do, the reason I need a new fittings right now, the pump is installed like this. I want to install it this way so that when we unplug it from the water, basically cistern or a water tank outside, the water will naturally just kind of start to flow out, so there would be no or less water sitting in here that could freeze. Right now it's just sitting like this, so I'm going to need a few extra connections, but I can still use this pump for now. Just set it up like I've got the other one. Having the heater in here should help if there is water still in there. So it's not a huge deal, but I can get those fittings or those clamps next time I'm in town. I wish I'd looked because I was in town yesterday, but I really don't want to go into town even though it's not that far. But so I'm just going to go ahead and get this connected. That way we can still do laundry until we get that going. So yeah, I'm going to get this heater on first though. Alright, so it takes a little while to purge all the air from the line, so I didn't film all that, but we've got the pilot light going now. You can feel a little bit of the heat coming off. I probably will just go ahead and turn this off so that I can get access to this a little easier and not have to worry about catching my jacket on fire. It's just a pilot light, but still, this warms up pretty quick. So, but anyway, it needed to be installed, so it is what it is. And now I'm going to work on getting this disconnected. I'll try to get you guys a little better angle. It's always hard to find a good camera angle when you're working in small spaces. Alright, so that's all off. I did wire this to a switch so that the pump wouldn't have to be disconnected every time, just in case there was ever to be a leak downstream, because it is a pressure pump. It wouldn't just dump all the water into the shed. So get that disconnected real quick. Let's see. And we'll have to see. I don't know for sure if the way I was hoping to put it, the pump sideways, if the cables will actually reach. So we'll have to figure that out. There's going to be some water coming out of these, so I'll have some towels ready here. I feel like you guys can see alright. I'm trying to get you the best angle. But that's good, no water in there. Let's see, I'm gonna need some pliers. Where did Patrick put all our tools? We are back. Alright, I found the wrenches. They were actually where I normally put them, but Patrick likes to put them in a different spot, and they weren't in the different spot, so I didn't see them. But, that's marriage. At least from what I can tell. Let's see, how did I have this one? It's on there pretty good. I have to disconnect this first. Yeah, I'm going to take that off once it's down. It is tight. I did all this originally, but it's been a while, so it's hard to remember exactly how everything was done. little bit of water coming out. To be expected. I should have hooked this other hose, but I'm hoping I can just take this off. Looks like it's gonna work. I don't know if this RV filter actually even does anything, but you know, it is just rainwater, so I like to be able to try to have it as clean as possible. We'll clean your clothes. Alright. Make an extension. Or use those screws for the new one. Alright, old pump is disconnected. Might try to save this, see if we can fix it. It's a nice pump. Might be able to figure out where the leak. Could just be a gasket issue, so we'll hang on to it. If not, we can maybe use it for parts on another pump. Sorry about the workbench being a little bit of a mess. Seems like every time we finish a project, it's kind of a wreck in here. So we'll just go with it today. Let's try to get this guy off here and put it on the new pump before we hang it up. I think it'll be easier. Should be the same. It's actually got a rubber washer in there, so I don't need Teflon. Important thing with these pumps is to check the in and out. I've wired them backwards before, and they don't work that way, because you need the water to flow in a certain direction, and if it's not, then water's not flowing. Also could burn up your pump if you're not careful. It feels like it's cross-threaded. Let's double check before we get it too tight. Yeah, that feels better. A lot better. Alright. Get this one tight so that rubber gasket can seal good. Sorry, I've kind of got the sniffles today. Like I said, it's pretty chilly, so my nose likes to run when it's cold. Probably good enough. I don't want to smash that. Oh, I think I did. Let's see. Oh no, that's good. That's just a little bit of water in there. Okay. Don't want to compress that rubber washer too much because then it won't do what it's supposed to. So that should be good to go. I think what I'll do next is go ahead and connect. Well, I should probably hang it up first. Clearly, I don't know what I'm doing. Just figure it out as I go. Alright, so I'm outside now. This is our 50-gallon water tank. We keep this on it over in the winter just to help. This is just plastic. I do want to change this out to a metal piece at some point because it is really difficult to thread this piece on sometimes. Just a normal like water hose fitting, but the problem with having to change this out is you have to empty this tank, and we don't really want to waste the water, so for now it works fine. This is what it came with. I wish it had come with something a little different, but this is our PEX line that goes into the washer. You'll see it can be a little bit tricky to not cross thread this metal piece onto here. And we usually use the channel locks because it likes to jump a little on here if you're not careful. And you do need to get this good and tight, otherwise it will leak out here. So this is the part we disconnect in the winter and let as much water in this hose drain out. So that kind of tells you why I want to put that pump on an angle so that more of the water can drain out of it. We're getting somewhere. Test will be when I turn the water on. Let's see if there's any leaks. I don't see anything, so we should be in good shape. Alright, so we'll go test the pump. Alright, the moment of truth. Let's flip her on and see if she turns on and if there's water. That's much quieter than the old pump. That's a good sign. I'm not seeing any water in the strainer. That's interesting. Turn it off for a second. I don't want it to run dry too long. Well, it's the same PSI as our old pump, so hypothetically, ooh, guys, that was violent. A little bit of a leak right there. It's interesting because there's no water in here, so that doesn't really make sense. Well, I'm gonna double check. I just saw a leak. Might be crazy. I'm gonna double check that the water is on out there. It should be, and make sure that tank's not frozen too. That's always an option. Alright, so I figured out the issue. The tank out there it doesn't have enough water in it. The, what do you call it? The, spigot part of it is higher. It's not all the way to the bottom, so there is water in it. It's just not at a level that it will actually drain out. Well, I mean, a little bit drains out, but not enough to fill this. So, what I'll probably do is just pour a couple 5-gallon jugs from our other water system over here to try to get enough in there to just test it, because I really thought I saw water drip from here somehow, even though water wasn't really going into it. So we will do that and I'll be right back. Alright, we should be in business now. We just put 10 gallons of water in that tank, so let's see if we have any leaks. Probably will. I can already see a little water bubble. Yeah, the water's already filling up there, so yeah, that needs to be tightened just a little. But I don't see any leaks other than that one. I'm going to cut that off. Get this a little bit tighter. Let's see. Go that way with it. Either it's not tight enough or it's too tight. It's the one with the rubber washer, so may need to loosen it some too, actually. And it's still dripping. I'll try loosening it and see if I've compromised that rubber washer any. Alright guys, so my audio cut out these last couple of clips, so I'll just kind of give you a rundown of what I was going over. So I was able to get the small leak fixed on the opposite side of the pump. It actually, I think, was a little bit cross-threaded, so I loosened it up and then tightened it back, not cross-threaded, and making sure that the rubber washer wasn't smashed. Also got the heater working good. And then I kind of give you guys a rundown of how the little thermometers work. So I'll give you guys a quick overview of that as well. So I'm going to put one of the thermometers in the shed. It's going to go on the opposite side of where the heater is, so it doesn't give us a false reading of how warm it is in there with the heater. And if that side of the shed is at 32 degrees and we know, where the pump is and all that is probably going to also be around that temperature. So yeah, kind of went through all that. I don't remember everything I said, but unfortunately the audio is lost forever. Also kind of went over our washer. So it is a washer dryer combo, kind of something you would see in apartments, or a lot of people in Europe use them as well if they have washers. So basically it washes clothes and dries clothes all in one cycle. We don't always use the dry setting, especially in the summer. We just kind of hang dry everything. It just takes a lot less energy. They are pretty efficient on water though, so that's another reason we wanted to go this route. But yeah, just want to keep this space heated so we can protect the washer as long as possible, because one day it will be in our house, and if water gets in there, stays in there and freezes, it could be an issue. So the heater should help with that issue. So these are the thermometers. I got these off of Amazon. I'll put a link in the description. But basically there are 3 zones that you can keep track of the temperature and also the humidity in. The nice thing about these, they actually have little screens on them that show you the temperature in real time when you're in that space, and the humidity level as well. So that's kind of nice. We'll put one of these in the workshop, one in the shed, and then since we have an extra, we'll probably put it in the camper just to kind of monitor that space as well when we're not in there, because we really don't spend much time in the camper. We just kind of sleep in there, so that's pretty much it. But seems to be a nice little setup so far. I've got a little clip here at the end. I'll show you everything hooked up, but yeah, I'll leave a link for this. It's just a nice, it's all battery powered, so you don't have to plug it in and use any energy or anything like that. But basically you can monitor the temperature without having to go into those spaces and check it, all from one warm, cozy area. So we have this set up in here now next to our little weather station. So we've got the 3 zones. The first one is the pump house. The second one is the workshop, which is a little bit warmer, and that's probably because I was running the heater for a little bit. And the third one is the camper. And the inside is, of course, the inside of the office shed here. Not sure if it's completely accurate. The humidity looks good because this is the current inside temperature and humidity in this space. The humidity is the same, but the temperature is about 4 degrees different. So we'll see if it levels out a little bit. This was out in the truck, so it might be a little bit cold and it might take a minute, but that'll give us a good idea of what we're working with and all the different spaces. So I think it's going to be a nice little addition to our off-grid setup here.